Deluded, I'm back again. Now, Arsenal fans, I'm speaking directly to you, and if you're a fan of any other general club and you're watching this, big up yourself, innit? But specific to Arsenal fans, I can only speak for myself when I speak on Emerick Aubameyang. I think he's a very good striker. I mean, him together with Lacazette, they still have their questions to answer. But definitely in latter years, or in recent years, arguably, excluding Alexis, what we're in 2018... give or take, within the last 10 years, actually, no word of a lie. Like, again, I'm just saying off the dome, but within the last 10 years, probably two of the best attacking players we've had, two of the best members we can say are part of a strike force and give us options. Excluding, obviously, Alexis Sanchez in his own was a machine for Arsenal in the 3 years or so he was at this club. But yeah, both signed in the region of 50 million, Lacazette I'm referring to as well. But specific to Uber, I'm happy with him. I like how, although we know he's come up off playing on the flanks as well as up front in his career, I'm pretty sure, we'll get onto it, I'm pretty sure he's not a fan of playing on the flanks, but he's done his job out there. I mean, he's scoring goals from the flanks. When he's on the bench, he's coming off the bench to bag braces, like against, what was it, against Fulham, forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't even think it was against Fulham. It might have even been Leicester or something. Forgive me if I'm wrong, people, but you guys know we come off the bench and get someone and bag the brace. So it doesn't matter if he's playing out of position and there, he's someone I've got a lot of time for. I've got a lot of time for his pace. What I actually like is that I know there's question marks over his general play, and I do think he's got wonderful technical ability at the ball of his feet. But the one thing I like about him is that he just wants to put the ball in the back of the net and statistically show that. He's up there. The amount of goals he's scored since he's been at Arsenal has been terrific. He's got, I'm so sure at a point it might have changed now, but he had the best minutes to goal ratio in the Premier League. So he scores goals. What I like about him, like I tried to say before I said that, is he just wants to put the ball in the back of the net. And for many a times, Arsenal had fantastic players, but no one who just wanted to get something on it and put the ball in the back of the net. That's what he's done. The question mark then for me actually is for Aubameyang and his big games, because whether Lacazette's playing good in these games necessarily or not, he's bagged against United at home. Away he scored against City. He got an assist against Liverpool last year and he scored in the fixture this year. He's got an assist against Spurs. He scored against Atletico. He's on it in the big games. Aubameyang scoring goals, and like even on the weekend, I know Lacazette scored and he gets the praise, and I might look a bit silly, but you guys know I love Lacazette. I actually think Aubameyang should have been the one to stay on the pitch. I felt while he was disappearing in the second half of talks, or the standards were dropping. I feel in the first half especially, and probably the first 10 minutes, he put in a good shift left flank, and especially defensively as well, helping out Kohler, and he was an outlet. I think he had a good game and deserved to stay on. Obviously, he got subbed. And I have to think, is there potential cause for unrest with unaiemery or Arsenal and Pierre? I don't think so, because, I mean, he said at the end of it, I think he'd be more angry about potentially not scoring. What do you mean not scoring? Potentially being subbed, but we'll get onto that. What I was going to say as well is that he's played, 7 or so games against the top 6, and he's got no goal or assist. He would have had one against Spurs last season, because I was there and it got ruled out for offside and he wasn't. Yeah, that's the only big question for me, is he needs to do it in big games, and obviously his general play could be a bit better, but his goal scoring is mad, and it's actually massive for us. And I'd say out of 100, I'm 98% sold on him. I'm or 99.9, but there's just that little percentages in the back of my head saying he needs to bag against big games. Try bag against a Chelsea and stuff like that. Even on the topic of Chelsea, it's funny because now he's in great form and stuff on the goal scoring front. Have I even got his stats to hand? We'll check his stats, but I'm so sure he's got 7 or so in the Premier League already, people. 9 goals, yeah, 7 Premier League goals, 9 in all comps, nine goals in 14 appearances and 1 assist. So he's doing decent in that front. That's off the back of even if you remember in the start of the season, he actually wasn't bagging, and there was calls for him, actually, Lacazette, to start over him. And especially if you remember against Chelsea, he missed a whole host of tap-ins that he should have scored. Unaiemery backed him then. And if you remember, he was actually the first, I don't want to say first, Aubameyang and him are first and second choice, because they're both starting games and playing a big part. But definitely it would look like Aubameyang was the first man or the go-to guy, even though he kind of stopped scoring in pre-season, but he looked to be the first choice striker, for want of better words, for Unaiemery in the first couple of weeks. They've both been scoring goals and playing well. Lacazette, again, I'm referring to. But in the weeks that's changed, it's like Lacazette is the go-to guy. Like I said, I look a bit silly because I wanted him to get, or not wanted him to get subbed. But when the substitution was made, I was a bit bewildered that it wasn't him and it was Aubameyang. he's been playing, whether he should be subbed or not. So if he believes, if that means if he stayed on the pitch, Unai Emery believes he's the man that's going to score. And if you look at the Palace game, I'm so sure I swear Aubameyang started off the bench and he came on and scored. Forgive me if I'm wrong, because my memory's not the best right now. But you get the point. So when you consider that he's doing a great job scoring from the flanks and scoring off the bench when he can, for me, if I'm Aubameyang, I'm starting to, I wouldn't say get unrest people, but I'll start to think whether Unai Emery means this or not. I mean, strikers are very psychological. If they stop scoring psychologically, they might start disappearing in games and stuff like that, and then it will transpire into the physical. But if I'm him and I'm looking at it, big game against Liverpool at a period, and I'll make some other points as well, but at a period when we were actually chasing the game, I'm a striker. I was bought here for big money. I've been scoring goals as well. Let's not forget. I'm one of the guys that if Arsenal are to get into the game, realistically, if the ball don't fall to my feet, very few people are actually going to put the ball into the back of net. So if I'm him and I get subbed in a game like this, I wouldn't be happy. I'll be upset. I'd wonder, does Unai, whether, again, I don't think Unai believes this, but if I was him, this might be going through my head. Does he believe in, man? I know he says he does, but does he believe in me? Like, we're a goal behind. He's taking man off. Shout out to Lacazette, so no bad blood, but he's taking me off. I've made a career of scoring goals. Check the statistics in the German and even in my early English top flight. I've been taken off now. I've started on the bench. I've not played 90 minutes. Too tough this season. I think he's actually I've only completed 90 minutes twice this year. Give or take, I've played 89 minutes as well. But if I'm always being subbed, I'm being subbed on, I'm playing out of position. Am I as important in this side as I think I am? We know Unai Emery has to. He's played a lot of positions. At times you could say we've technically played a 4-4-2, a 4-2-3-1, a 4-1-4-1, and other sort of 4-4-2 and other variations of sorts. So I don't want to say we haven't played with two up front, but we do know we're still probably yet to fully gel the two strikers into the team and integrate them both properly. So someone, even Lacazette at the time doing it out there out wide, they've both had to be easy in that regard. So we still got to find that and things like that. But is there potential unrest that could be caused here? Because he hasn't completed 90 minutes. Too tough. And it's actually amazing that I think I'm reaching, because I'm sitting here and saying this. He's been nominated for Premier League Player of the Month. So this, like I said, he's not completed 90 minutes. He's hard comparing to his striking partners statistically, clearly. And Lukaku got dropped for the recent game against Bournemouth for Man United. But Lukaku, maybe Morata to a degree, and the rest of the attackers, he's playing less minutes and he's not playing in a central position. I do think you could score a high amount of goals on the flanks and things like that, but we know to really score big boy goals, you've got to come off the flanks and play kind of centrally. Look at Salah last year. He's still doing his thing on the flanks, but even Klopp said it. He taught him we need him to come off the flanks and devastate in impacting areas inside the middle and things like that, and he became a killer. So there's only so many goals you can score out wide. So maybe there's potential unrest, and I feel let me get my laptop, people. I feel personally I'm doing an injustice to you lot, not actually providing context. So what I mean by he's not played too many 90 minutes. Aubameyang, let's type him into Google. We'll go on to transfer market, or I don't know why they haven't got an E in it, or how it's actually pronounced. But yeah, he's 29 years of age as well. He left Dortmund to come here. This is probably not what he would have thought. He would have thought last season, alright, cool, not Unai Emery, Wenger, didn't happen for us. But yeah, so like, look, people, boom. Premier League, 14, I mean, in all comps, 14 appearances, 9 goals, 1 assist. 11 appearances in the Premier League, 7 goals, 1 assist. Premier League, like, if I just look at his minutes, in the game against Liverpool, 73 minutes. Palace, 79. Leicester, 29. All playing from the left-hand channel, people. Fulham, 28. Another brace and an assist. Playing from the right wing against Watford, 77. And against Everton and Newcastle, 69. Cardiff, I already told you, 89 minutes. West Ham, he got 75 minutes. And against Chelsea and City, he started, to be fair, and he got 90. So he hasn't played 90 minutes. Too tough. He's obviously got 14 minutes in the EFL. and in the Europa League, he's got 86 minutes and 86 minutes against Sporting, and he bagged 2 in the 57 minutes he got against Volska. So yeah, man, he has had to. You can see how, like, obviously it's something I didn't really pay attention to, because obviously it's the team is moving good right now. It's just a team collective, and a lot of that remains. And I don't feel Aubameyang's a mono are going to make a deal out of it. I feel for him, he's more angry in the sense that he got substituted, or he keeps getting subbed, and he might be losing faith in himself then, in the sense where getting annoyed at the position. I don't feel, obviously if you ask him, he wants to play through the middle for Arsenal, every striker with, no one wants to play on the flanks, but I don't feel he's making a song and dance or necessarily cares in a sense. But when you look at the minutes, I didn't think that, like, this went over my head, people. And if I, like, just look at the man, I mean, he scored in 144 appearances in the Bundesliga, 98 goals. In the Premier League, he's got 17 and 24 and 5 assists already. This is someone that has the potential to play 90 minutes. So I would be upset if I was him. And to probably provide a bit more context, let's just look at Lukaku, for example. Not to dig him out, because we know he's been having his own problems, and banter aside, I don't like to see people's confidence like that. But let's look at Lukaku, just for the minutes, just to context this. Another number 9 who's playing frequently for his side, yeah, boom. 14 appearances, 10 in the Premier League. He's got 4 goals. And if you just look at his minutes, yeah, look, the only time Lukaku's been substituted, whether it's because of Jose or United's lack of options, is not here, there, or anywhere, but he's only not played 90 minutes when he's been available in the Premier League, or in some capacity twice. 23 minutes against Leicester on the opening day, which I think he had his own injury issues. And he obviously, against his former club, Everton, where he's having his own loss of form, he got 25 minutes. But other than that, against Brighton, Spurs, Burnley, Watford, Wolves, West Ham, Newcastle and Chelsea, he's played 90 minutes. I would look at Morata or something, but I'm pretty sure you people get the point at this moment in time. Like, Aubameyang's doing a great job playing out wide and playing in less minutes and still being up there for one of the best goal scorers in the league. I know Kane's bagged this season, so bagged this game week, so he might be ahead of him on 8 or something now, but he's up there. And we needed a striker. If we're going to win the league or get in the top 4 or anything within the next 2-3 years or so, we need a striker that has pedigree, and him and Lacazette have that. So yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Morata's a dead example, people, because his thing is dead. But last season it could be said, well, you get the point, in it. Looking at Morata, his thing is dead, man. I mean, he's played 90 minutes once, 75 minutes against us, and 65 against Newcastle, and see, around 60 odd. The last 2 games he's been available against Burnley, and, well, he's played 90 against Palace, I believe, forgive me, and he's got 74, the stats ain't been in for Palace yet, but he's got 74 against Burnley and 79 against United. Other than that, it's bare 20s in the next 3 game weeks. So he's not the best example, but if we were to look at, I don't know, Kane, for example, or the Liverpool attacking options, you'd get the point, and I'm pretty sure you're not smart enough to get the point. So yeah, I don't feel there's any unrest there or anything, but I will start to believe, like, do you believe in me of sorts? And just on the basis of, I want to play 90 minutes, I'm a footballer, I want to play 90 minutes, like, obviously, it's a good thing. No footballer is ever gonna be happy completely, and a lot of the times, whether he's been subbed on or off, this decision has been the right one for the team. So the team comes first, the collective first. But yeah, I just felt, because I haven't spoken about this and it kind of went over my head, I might throw a little video together. So here we are, people. There's nothing more to say on that front, so let me get out of your hair, man. I'm out.